Hey, Scott Simucci here over at Sales Qualia. Don't know about you, but I always have a little bit of a hard time getting rolling after the new year. And I wanted to just share a little bit about today for me because if your days or weeks or uh, post holidays are anything like mine, I think you can just appreciate that it's hard to get started again. And I think the more that we just acknowledge that and accept that, then the easier it is for us to actually get things rolling in a way that we want to get them rolling. So, I have this saying with our clients that oftentimes, like if we're working on a sales strategy or working on a new, tactic or, outbound or demos, and they're starting, like literally starting a new process, building out a new process, they usually ask me like, okay, where's a good place to start? And my answer, my tacit answer is at the beginning. Like if you're not sure where to start, the beginning is always a good place. And I was just thinking about today as, I started thinking about today a couple days ago. New Year, Christmas is over, New Year's Eve rolls around, and then New Year's Day comes, and it's just a little bit for me, a little bit of an emotional letdown because I get so excited about the holidays. I have an 8-year-old son. Holidays is just like prime time child fantasy land, and once New Year's Day rolls around, then I think a lot of us, including myself, we started naturally thinking about what's coming ahead that first day back in the office. And yesterday, I took my son over to an archery range with one of his friends, outdoor range, and was talking to his friend's mom, and we were both. She uses the word nervous. I use the word anxiety about starting things over, and I think it's completely normal for us. So what I decided to do this morning is just start. The internet is, yeah, it's just like one of those things too where the day starts and you have, maybe you're feeling rested and you're feeling full of vigor and enthusiasm for the year ahead. Maybe you've got some anxiety, and either way, that that first day could be a big opportunity to get things started the way you want them to get started, or it could just be a little bit disjointed because you want to get into that flow. And you look at your meetings, you look at your calendar, and you realize, like, man, I got a full day, and after 2 weeks off, or at least 2 weeks of slower time of work, everything is going to go fast. And am I ready for that? My morning started, at five. Or no, at 3:57. So 3:57, my body woke up, looked at the clock, and said 3:57. It was like it knew it was time to start the 4 a.m. club again. So I started this 4 a.m. club. It's a club of one. It's me in this house. I get up at 4 a.m. and I get my day started. I did my morning pages, I drank some coffee, I did a little bit of meditation, poured myself a second coffee, and then into the office, right? So the place to start is just like start the morning. Look at the clock and realize, okay, I could roll over and go get it, all the reasons in the world to justify getting another hour of sleep. Because yeah, it's just the first day back. Why not? But staying vigilant to the routine and saying, no, it's 4 a.m. It's the first day back. Place to start is at the beginning. And so I did that. And so then I get to the office, and now it's okay, where do I start with the work that needs to be done? And for me, it was start the project. I had a decision to make. Do I dive right into email and worry about everything that I might have missed over the last couple of days? Or do I stick to the commitment I made to myself, which is to begin a new writing project? And it took some fortitude. It took real fortitude for me to keep the laptop closed and to read for a couple of minutes to get my mind working. And then when it was time to crack the laptop open, to avoid all of the open browsers that I left open on New Year's Eve, wrapping up the year's work, and instead just go right to Evernote and pull up a new fresh note and start typing for this new book project. Fortunately, I knocked out 1,800 words because I chose to just start at the beginning. And the first sentence that I wrote is, why write this book? Now, I know that sentence is not going to make it into the final draft. It was just a starting place for me. That was an open question that I could ask myself and get my brain working, get my fingers moving, get words moving across the screen, and to get motion, right? So then the other places where I had to start was training. So I made a commitment to myself that after my last big attempt, my last big endurance event back in early October, early mid-October, I decided, okay, I'm going to give myself a couple months off. I'm still, exercising and staying fit, but not any real training. So got lax on my diet, got lax on my training a little bit, gave myself some rest. And I decided January 4th is when I start training again. And so this morning I wake up, it's cold, it's rainy, it's January 4th, and I've got time reserved at the pool at 7 a.m. So get to the pool, 7 a.m., knock out a couple thousand yards. And getting out is worse than getting in, because getting out, because it's raining, all my stuff is soaked. My towels are soaked, my clothes are getting wet. I got to slosh to the car, drive home, get home in time to help out with breakfast. And the whole point, though, is like making that commitment and just starting, right? I knew that those yards are going to probably not be great. I knew it was going to be cold. I knew it was going to be rainy. I knew it was going to suck. Like the water is actually kind of warm in the pool, but then the rain is coming down on top of you, which doesn't feel great. It's like little cold pinpricks on your back and on your arms as you're swimming, right? Not the same swimming that you get in the summer, lounging around by the pool. Then there's other choices to make. Like, one of the things I usually do with my coffee is put butter. I like putting butter in my coffee. I know it's a little weird, but it's just, I like it better than cream or coconut oil. And because I'm in training mode, that tablespoon of butter is 100 calories, and I'm counting calories. So I got to scale back on that. I've got to, it's just, again, it's like a small decision at 4:00 in the morning when I start off the morning and start off with my coffee. It's like, where do I start? Well, it starts with deciding whether or not to put a tablespoon of butter in my coffee or not and save 100 calories. It's like that simple in a lot of ways, but just because it's simple, it doesn't make it easy, right? Because it's hard to make those little steps sometimes. Breakfast this morning, right? Skipping the normal huge breakfast burrito I've been making myself almost the last 2 months every morning. Skipping that and scaling back to eggs and a little bit of sour cream, right? Measuring out my food, getting my snacks ready for the entire day, measuring out my food so I know exactly how many calories I'm taking in. Like, this is a pain. It kind of sucks, but there's also a certain amount of momentum and pride with these little steps: skipping butter, getting to the pool, measuring out my snacks. Now I'm starting to feel some real emotion, having knocked out 1,800 yards or 1,800 words before getting to the pool. Now I feel like, okay, it's only 8:30 in the morning, but because I started in these little steps, because I kept to these little commitments, now I've got some real momentum going. Organizing my gear so that later this afternoon I can go to the garage for a second workout. That's something else I have to start doing. Start doing, back to school parenting, right? Negotiating with my son about brushing his hair and getting started in the morning. Slicing up, getting breakfast, slicing the apple just perfectly. Because if I slice it too thick or too thin, he might not eat it. If I put too much in the bowl or too little, if you put too much, he might say it's too much, and then he doesn't eat it. If I put too little, he eats it all, and I feel like, I could have got some more nutritious food in him. Again, these are just like little moments that you've got to just start over in some of these situations, some of these days. The negotiating around brushing his hair and getting ready for school turns into arguing about, hey, I gotta see what classes you've got in front of you. These are all the things that are all hitting us every single day, but it feels so much harder today because it's that first day back after a longer break. We had our hot water heat broke on December 31st, New Year's Eve. We find out, hey, no hot water. Less of a problem for me because I typically take cold showers because I'm weird and I'm strange and I like cold showers. I don't really like them, but I do better with cold showers than I do with warm showers. I sleep better. And I feel like it wakes me up better, but the rest of the house, feel like warm showers. So now we've got somebody coming over today. I'm standing in the garage at 9:00 in the morning, negotiating over a cash discount with the guy who's going to be installing the hot water heater later on today. These are all starting points of the year. It's what makes things about days like this really tough. Starting back on the husbanding, if that's a word. My wife and I, she said, okay, should we talk about the day? What's going on today? What do you have on your schedule? What do I have on my schedule? She's got a big presentation at 1:00. Got the hot water heater guy coming over. We got school that we've got to oversee. I've got the stuff I got to do with my business. And maybe the tree guy is going to come if the rain lets up because we have some broken branches in our cottonwood tree. Like, it's like, boom, everything hitting us all at once on January 4th, right? But you just take these things one day at a time. And, it can be overwhelming. And it started to feel pretty overwhelming this morning. But here I am, it's 11 o'clock. I've been awake now for 7 hours. And all that stuff is now past, right? We know what time the hot water guy's coming. I don't think the tree guy's coming. We got the schedule sorted out for today. We got my son up and running on schoolwork. I got the 1,800 words done. I got my first workout done. I've got my food plan for the rest of the day. Like, everything else is now set. And it's all because of these smaller actions that I chose to make. And I think we can do, you can do the same. You choose to take action and choose to take these small steps. And if you're still feeling overwhelmed, or you're still feeling unsure, or feeling anxious, or feeling nervous, then just pick one task right now. Make it an easy one, even if that task is to make a list for yourself on a Post-it note or on a sheet of paper. That can be your first task. Like, just choose an action, because when you choose an action, that will help you build momentum. So just choose to do right now, pick one action, do that task well, and move to the next one. One of the mantras that we talk about with our clients all the time is focus on now, and worry about later. Yeah, there's like all of this stuff that you got to do, but you can only do one thing at a time. There's no such thing as multitasking. You can task switch. There's task switching, but there's not multitasking. So one of the things that has worked for me and helps me is to just do the one thing that I can do in this moment and then move to the next one. And that's what I was able to do this morning, feeling anxious, feeling nervous, feeling a certain level of excitement as well, but really just a little bit of like the post-holiday blues and getting back into the flow and just taking those little steps, following those routines, getting myself moving. And now having kept to my commitments to myself around waking up, doing the workout, doing the writing, starting the book that I wanted to start, getting myself back into a training regimen and a dieting regimen. Now I feel like I've accomplished something today. So regardless of what else happens the rest of the day today, between now and the next 10 hours when I go to sleep, at least I know I've done these things and I've gotten some momentum going for myself. And tomorrow, again, I can wake up at 4, do my morning routine, morning pages, coffee, meditation, do another couple hundred words of the book, maybe more if I'm lucky. If not, that's okay. But it's the small steps. So just focus on the small steps. Do the task that's in front of you. Do right now. Pick one action. Get it done. Do it well to the best of your ability. Don't worry about if it's perfect. You know that saying, perfect is the enemy done. And knock it out. And then once you do that, I think that will help you build momentum. And just remember, you're not going to get everything done in one day or 1 week or 1 month or even 1 year. There's that Bill Gates quote that I keep in my mind often, which is people often overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And so, we all have the big to-do list that's piled up. We probably all have a full inbox. We probably have lots of projects we thought we were going to get done when there were fewer meetings over the holiday break. And now we're back into it. And it feels overwhelming. And that's natural. But don't let the overwhelm you. It doesn't have to. Just do one thing at a time, one task at a time. Do today, do this hour, do the next task in front of you. Do that repeatedly over the course of the next few days. And if it works, if it works anything like it's worked for me, I think you're going to feel really good about what progress you've made, what momentum you've built. By the end of the week, you'll be back into a flow and ready to take on the rest of the month and the rest of the year. So we got this. You got this. Let's do it. All right, that's it for now. I just wanted to hop on, share that with you. Hope it helps you to get things rolling. It's helped me. And just know that you're not alone with all the stuff that's going on. Every one of us is dealing with it. And, one step at a time. All right, that's it for now. This is Scott Sambucci signing off.